Hello everybody, this is my 19th review of films to come out in 2025, and today we are talking about Holland, directed by Mimi Cave. This is her second feature film. Mimi Cave previously directed a movie called Fresh, which I very much did not enjoy. I got the impression from that film alone that I was probably not going to enjoy whatever she makes next. While many of the problems of that film stem from the script, which is written by a different screenwriter than Holland, there are also huge issues with the presentation. The editing was not working for me, I hated the way it was shot, and the actors were giving, in my opinion, really bad performances, and these are talented actors like Sebastian Stan. A lot of people love that movie and I just don't get it, but maybe with Holland it'll finally click with me. Even though I was not anticipating this to be any good, I did go into it with an open mind. I was willing to give it a chance. So, would I recommend Holland? No. And I know I disliked her previous movie, but it is my understanding that even fans of Fresh disliked Holland. Personally, I dislike these movies about equally, but the similarities and differences between them surprised me. The screenplay to Holland was actually the most similar in its issues to Fresh. They were incredibly similar screenplays in terms of themes, structure, everything. And they definitely have the same issues. However, on the side of the direction, I actually do think there are some major improvements. Holland is shot better than Fresh, the performances are much better, but this was still an incredibly boring waste of time. I'm just going to run through the plot quickly. The movie stars Nicole Kidman, who has a very inconsistent Michigan accent. She loses her earrings, starts freaking out, she fires her babysitter, who's played by Rachel Sennett, who is completely wasted in this movie. She's in it for just that scene, which lasts like 20 seconds. Why would you waste such a talented actor? I have no idea. But anyways, we are introduced to her 13-year-old son and her husband. Her husband has created a miniature of their town Holland in their basement. He is an optometrist. They live in a real-life town, Holland, and I feel like there was an attempt to make this town like creepy in like an old-fashioned way and kind of like a midsummery way, like it was like supposed to be cultish or something and have these like oppressive conservative values or something that kind of fit that feminist message. But yeah, I forgot multiple times that they even lived in a special town because the movie really underutilizes it. I don't know why they chose such a unique place because it just kind of felt pointless. Nicole Kidman is also friends with Gael Garcia Bernal, who works as a woodshop teacher at the school she does something at. Through her search for her earrings, she discovers that maybe her husband is doing something behind her back. We get scenes of her husband talking to her son, like alone, being like, "Son, I just wanted to tell you that women are hysterical." It is such terrible, unsubtle dialogue. But anyways, it's weird because the movie starts with the idea that Nicole Kidman is like this brainwashed person, like she just loves her town and needs to break away from it. But the second she gets an inkling her husband is doing something behind her back, she immediately starts cheating on him with Gael Garcia Bernal, and the movie acts like this is fine. Like, they have sex like 30 minutes into the movie. Sure, he's sexist behind her back, and she's right to be suspicious of him, but the movie does not really give us a justification for her to react like that based on what she is supposed to know about him at this point. The next, like, I don't know, 90 minutes of the movie or something is just her and Gael Garcia Bernal trying to figure out what he has hidden behind his back, and it just feels like filler. It's so drawn out and long and boring. There is no reason for the movie to be as long as it is. But anyways, the movie ends with Nicole Kidman going to a library in that cheesy movie way and uncovering some old newspapers and figuring out that he's a murderer. And simultaneously, without knowing this, Gael Garcia Bernal tracks him down and sees him murdering someone, flips out like a camcorder, then he sees Gael Garcia Bernal, and they get into like a fist fight / knife fight, and then Gael Garcia Bernal like drowns him in a lake. Is he a woodshop teacher for any reason? No, they didn't use that in the scene where they very easily could have. Is he an optometrist for any reason? No. Then he goes to tell Nicole Kidman what happened, but lies for no reason. He's like, your husband said he is never coming back. Why does he lie? I don't know. Why don't they get together at this point in the movie? I don't know. She's like, we have to wait for the ceremony to be over. So then the movie goes on for like another 30 minutes. We see this like town's ceremony, and then the husband shows up for some reason. I don't know how. He drowned in a lake. I also have to mention, this director's work with extras is super unconvincing. There is an aerial shot in this scene where we see like 300 people from above, and you have to show like Nicole Kidman running through the set, like to get her son or something. But it's so unnatural because everybody in the shot is just standing still. A crowd of 300 people and not one person is moving around a little bit? And it's not unnatural in a way that's supposed to be like uncanny. They clearly understood that this shot looks stupid because it does not last long. But I mean, I caught it and I was impressed by how unnatural and weird it looked. Anyways, the husband takes Nicole Kidman and their son in a car so he can drive off with them. I have no idea what his motivation is at this point. But then she shoots him and he has this super unrealistic scar on his face. Like this bloody like side of his cheek as if she like grazed him with the bullet, and then she like fights him with her fists, and there's like little blood splashes on the car. Like we don't get to see the fist fight, we just see these little like blood splashes on the car window, and then she hugs her son and the movie ends. Actually, before the movie ends, we get footage of his miniatures with narration, and I kid you not, I think the last line of the movie is something like, "But was that really real?" Like, do you really have the gall to imply that it was like a dream or intended to be unrealistic or something? No way. This movie isn't unrealistic because there's some hidden message or it's like artsy or something. This movie is unrealistic because it's bad. The message is incredibly surface level and unnuanced. I don't know how you can say this at the end of the movie. It just felt like a band-aid after making a movie that didn't make sense. So anyways, this movie stinks. I will say there are improvements over Fresh. Again, I did enjoy the performances. It does feel like these actors are having fun. Better cinematography, again, better music. But God, is this a boring, predictable, cliche script that I am struggling to remember as recording this. I'm going to give this a 1.5 stars out of 5, a low 1.5 stars out of 5. I will never watch this movie again. But tomorrow, I will post a review for Friendship, starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson, so subscribe if you'd like to see that. In the description, I have a link to my Letterboxd list, ranking all of the movies I've seen of 2025 so far. Here is the ranking, or what we have of it. There's Holland. There should also be a link to the playlist of all my 2025 film reviews. You can also find that on my channel page and on the left side of your screen. Thank you for watching. Comments and likes are very much appreciated. They help boost me in the algorithm. That's all I gotta say. See ya!